How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to Crafting Cars. Today, as you can see, we have the BRZ jacked up. We're going to be throwing a new clutch in her. Not because the clutch is bad, it's engaging fine and everything, but we are getting some noise. Usually whenever I press that clutch in, we're getting some rattling and stuff. And that means it's either the pilot bearing and throw bearing, but if I'm taking the transmission off, I might as well replace the whole kit while we're in there. We're going to be going with the BRZ Pro kit, which is a factory replacement because we aren't going to be pushing a lot of power out of this thing. All that being said, let's get started. Big progress. As you can see, we have all the center console out. This is the shift linkage bracket here. Yeah, otherwise from in here, nothing too complicated. Just remove it as you go. You got the two in the back, two in the middle, two up front. Just pull out each body panel one at a time. And then for this, I learned a little too late because if you look at the hole up top, it's teeny tiny, and you look at this hole, it's a little bit bigger. What I tried to do was slide it down and around this piece here because there's a pin, this guy here, that you have to try and fit it around to get to this guy. It's welded on this side, so you got to go at it from this side, and I did not realize that I could pull the sucker back, and I went and grew impatient and ended up just tearing it. So that sucks. We are pretty much ready to start tearing the bell housing bolts off and the starter out. The starter, those two plugs there, which are bolted to the starter, and this ground, that all comes off, and then two bolts for the slave cylinder. Then we should be ready to drop her. So let's start knocking this stuff all out. It's pretty tight under there, and there isn't really a good camera angle, so I'm not sure how much of it I'm going to be able to show you guys, unfortunately, but I'll probably end up picking you guys up once we are pulling the transmission off. Starter is out. All the bell housing bolts are out. That's all these guys here. And in the process of just undoing all the bolts and stuff, which are in there like crazy tight, the transmission already separated from the block, which is awesome. I have a ratchet strap here just going down, connecting to the motor. Because I've done a clutch on a WRX before, and these Subaru motors have a tendency to rock forward, so I want to prevent that as much as possible. So I just have a ratchet strap going down there to the strut bar for now. It's not crazy, but it doesn't take much to keep it upright. So I got that going. The only things that I have left underneath here is the last few bolts on the transmission mount, and then those two nuts on the bottom of the transmission. This is also going to be pretty tight. I'm going to have this camera and the GoPro going. It's just me here today, and I'm trying to do this in between watching the kiddo. So yeah, it's a little hectic, but we're going to get this done. Two nuts and the transmission mount, and then I'm just gonna, it should be pretty light. It's kind of a small 6-speed, so I should be able to deal with it myself. Let's get this sucker out, I guess. Holy shit. Okay. Kind of stuck. That's okay. How am I gonna do this? Oh. Come on. Get the fuck out of here. Transmission jack. Ah. Okay. Shit. Get the fuck. Okay. That's okay. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do this. Okay. Oh. Okay. Okay. What's scary is that something's holding it up. I don't know why. I knew I shouldn't have put the fucking jack in. Should have done it. Okay. Alright. Now, when I drop this, it might... Oh, goodness. Okay. Oh, whatever. This damage is done. Oops. Shit. Yep. Okay. Oh. My face. Oh. Okay. Never mind. Okay. Oh. Okay, that's about all that I have for you guys today. Unfortunately, with the time constraints, all I was able to do was pull the transmission, but I'm super happy with that. And as I was digging into it, I looked at the throwout bearing here, and that's definitely the culprit. So I feel good that, you know, it was all worth it pulling everything apart. It's all gonna be worth it. It's super nice seeing that something is bad and torn, because otherwise I'd just be doing it for fun. So yeah, all this is apart. I'm gonna be getting her back together here in the next video. I hate doing these part 2s, but again, with time constraints, I don't have too many options, so it's just the way the cookie crumbles, unfortunately. So I'm gonna have some help. Hopefully Afton will come over and we can get this bad boy slapped back in. Going in is gonna be a lot tougher than it coming out. And in the previous video you saw when I was dropping the transmission, it was the time lapse and the real time video. And both of them are pretty edited, but it just goes to show how fast and easy the time lapse looks compared to the real time video. There's a lot more that doesn't get picked up necessarily. My wife came home, so she was able to help me a little bit, and the jack, she just wasn't able to turn it because she had the kid in the other hand. But long story short, we got it all taken care of, and that's the good thing. So yeah, stay tuned. If you made it this far, I really appreciate it. If you liked what you saw, subscribe, and we'll see you guys on the next video. Bye-bye.